Hi everyone, it's Kate from The Forward Line. I am back this week with the new sewing pattern releases for June. I can't believe we're in June already. It has been a really good bumper month. We've had some fab releases. So I have selected a few of my favourites, and there is also a link down below to a blog post with everything that's been released in the last month. So you can go and peruse that at your leisure and kind of get some inspiration for what you can sew over the coming month. So the first pattern I'm going to talk to you about is the Pattern Scout Poppy Blouse. This comes in sizes 6 to 32. It also has 3 different bust cut options, which is really fantastic. I love it when pattern has bust cut options. So the pattern is really lovely, interesting shape. It's got raglan sleeves. It's got this kind of draped sort of bishop sleeve with gathered into the cuff. It sits at sort of 3/4 length of the sleeve. There's a seam down the centre front, which is quite interesting. And the kind of core detail of this top is a really beautiful kind of sheared panel that goes around the kind of collar and a little tie at the front. I think it's a really interesting shape. The raglan sleeve makes it simple in terms of construction. It's a relaxed fit. There are 2 variations with this, so you can either make it kind of as described, but there's also an option to add sort of gathered peplum as well, which I think would be a really nice detail. I think this pattern is kind of itching to be made in something drapey. I think it would work better with a drapey fabric, but I thought this would be a really nice addition to our handmade wardrobes. I think it's something you could wear a lot, and it's quite kind of classic shape with an interesting detail, which is my kind of, I love kind of stuff like that, kind of wardrobe staples. I think it's something that you could wear quite a lot, so that's why I included it. Next up, we have got the Chalk and Notch Evelyn skirt. This comes in sizes 8 to 30. I absolutely love this. Everyone, the whole team were talking about this, and I think I totally get it. It's a really interesting, it's not often that we have kind of interesting skirt patterns. So I'm going to talk about it now. So if I show you the line drawing, you can see there are 3 variations. There's a kind of really standard little mini skirt, and then the 2 kind of, for me, more interesting options are the sort of midi length. There's an option with a kind of asymmetric button down the side, and then it stops and there's a split. And the other option is having an elasticated waistband with an asymmetric off-centre split at the front. And I think that this is a really interesting pattern. It's very simple to make. I think you would get so much wear out of it, and I love the ones with button as well. They're just a really nice detail. There's also loads of skirts like this on the high street, so it's pretty bang on trend as well, and I can see it's one that lots of people have really kind of got behind. So this, I think, is going to be really popular, and I can totally see why. It's a really nice shape, and yeah, chalk and notch patterns are really fab as well, so definitely worth checking out. Next up, we've got a new pattern from Marilla Walker. It's called the Anning shirt dress. I love Marilla Walker patterns. I think they're fantastic. Her block is cut for a sort of more curvy person, and this is very, personally, I am curvy, so for me, I love her patterns because I very rarely have to make many alterations, and I really love her aesthetic. So, but while I finish fangirling about her, I'm going to get started. So if I show you the line drawing, you can see there are 2 variations for this pattern. It also comes, I should say, with let me show you a picture now. There's a kind of bonus collar included in the pattern, and if I show you, it's sort of like sailor style, which I think is super cute. So it's a sort of relaxed shirt dress. There are 2 options. You can have this sort of V-neck with this sort of kind of statement collar, quite similar to lots of stuff that is around on the high street at the moment. That sort of big collars are in. Button down the front. It's got really nice little details. It's got a gathered sleeve, and you can see at the back of the shirt there's like some gathering in the middle of the yoke, which I think is nice. The other option, which is slightly more kind of the less girly option, is it feels almost a bit like a based on a man's dress shirt, a vintage dress shirt. So it's got a little grandad collar buttoned down the front, and then it stops just below the I guess it would be just below your bust. There's some gathering there, which is great. Anyone who has this is very flattering if your stomach is not completely flat, it kind of glides over, which I personally like. I really love the curved hem. I just think it's a really fantastic pattern, and I love her patterns. Always got really good instructions as well, so yep. Next up is something that I very rarely feature, an expansion pack, but I think this expansion pack is really fantastic and really makes the dress. So it's the In the Folds Acton sleeve expansion. So the Acton dress, I think, is a pattern that doesn't get enough love because I think it's really fantastic. It's really interesting. I'll show you a line drawing so you can have a look. The one in particular it's got this really interesting wrap style, like huge bits of fabric that you sort of wrap round and tie. It's really flattering, but she's created a version with a sleeve, which I love personally. It's especially in the UK, it's never particularly boiling hot, is it ever? So this is a really nice summer dress option, and the sleeve is really interesting. Let me show you the line drawing. You can see it's got princess seams. There's interesting seam details on it. The two variations on the sleeve, there's a sort of straight cut, kind of relaxed fit one, and there's a wider one with gathering into a cuff. I just think it's such a beautiful dress, and I love the new edition of the sleeve. I think it's fab. So you will need to have the Acton dress to buy the expansion pack, if that makes sense. So this is like an added extra. Next up, we've got the So Liberated Studio Tunic. This comes in sizes 6 to 34. I really love this. I think this is a really useful item of clothing. So it's kind of been designed to wear over garments. Studio Tunic, you know, the clue is in the title. It's got really lovely big pockets. There are two variations. You can either go for a V-neck or a round neck. It's sleeveless, but I also think that you can wear this as a summer dress as well. So I think you could make it as something that you wear in the studio. The big pockets are great. You can store all of your sewing kind of paraphernalia in there, all your snips and pins and whatever else. I mean, it's even big enough the pockets look big enough to store a pattern in them, so they're, you know, really nice big pockets. But I think you could also make this as a summer dress, something to wear over a bikini going down to the beach. I think it's a really nice shape, and So Liberated patterns are fantastic. So if you're looking for something to wear while you sew, and so that you don't get kind of stuff all over you, especially if you make stuff, do other things that are a bit more messy, this could be a really nice kind of chic option. Yeah, I really liked it. So next up, we've got the Wardrobe by Me Aviator Jumpsuit. I thought this was a really lovely addition to your summer wardrobe. If I start off by showing you the line drawing, because you actually get quite a lot of bang for your buck with this pattern. So there are 4 variations. It's quite a relaxed fit. It's got buttons down the front. There are various things that you can do to it. So you can add patch pockets, you can add an optional tie. There's a sleeveless version, a sleeved version. There's a short version as well, so you could have it make it into a short version for the summer. It's got 2 different neckline options as well. I just think it's a really lovely shape, and it looks really flattering on all the people wearing it. And everyone who's wearing it have got quite different styles and different ages, and I just think this could be a lovely addition to people's wardrobe, and something that's a really kind of classic shape. So yeah, I thought that was a really good one. Did I say what size it came in? I don't think I did. It comes in a UK 4 to 24. Yeah, I really love this. I'd actually quite like to make this. I think it's a good one. So next up, we have got the Jennifer Lauren handmade Isla wrap dress. Now this dress, I'm going to be brutally honest, when I was looking through and picking patterns to feature, I kind of went past this one because I looked at it and thought, oh, you know, that's quite a pretty dress. And then I saw it was a wrap dress and I couldn't work out why. I couldn't see where the wrap was. And actually it's really fascinating, really interesting, it's got really lovely details. So let me show you the line drawing. It has so it's very simple on the front, but it's got this really interesting wrap detail at the back. And quite a lot of Jennifer Lawrence patterns have a sort of vintage nod, and I definitely think this pattern feels quite vintage. But the back is really beautiful. It's got this lovely sort of wrap detail. In terms of the construction, I think that it wraps at the front, at the back, sorry. And then where it finishes, the wrap kind of comes round and ties at the front. The actual rest of the dress is very simple in terms of construction. There's looks like there's little darts coming up from the waistline, but generally, yeah, I mean, in terms of construction, it's lovely and simple. It's just got this really lovely kind of wrap detail. I think it would look quite nice if you actually colour blocked it and had the wrap pieces in different colours so you could see them. But yeah, I really love this, so I thought it was definitely worth mentioning. If you're looking for kind of something simple with a nice little kind of quirky detail, the Isla wrap could be a great option for you. So last but definitely not least, we have got the Maison Atlas wrap dress, another wrap dress. I loved this. I thought this was a really interesting shape and I hadn't seen anything like this for a while, so I thought it was worth mentioning. So it almost has the Diane von Furstenberg feel, that sort of classic wrap shape, but it's got this interesting drape detail at the front. So if I show you the pictures, you can get an idea. So it's almost, it buttons down the front and then it's got this kind of gathered panel that ties at the side. It has almost like a little fake kind of a collar, fake collar at the neckline. Quite a deep V. There's an optional kind of patch pocket you can put on there, but I think it's really beautiful. I think it's a really nice shape, and if you're I thought this would be something that'd be quite nice to wear to an event. If you've got something kind of nice to go to this summer, it could look really nice. And I really enjoyed the pictures of this because you can see the kind of orangey one is made in a linen and it looks really fab and quite a nice, like, sort of casual dress. But then she's also made it in something like maybe like a satin. It's got a slight sheen to it and it just looks really dressy. So I just thought this was a really, really lovely pattern. It comes in sizes 8 to 28 as well. So that is it from us. Make sure you go and check out the blog post so you can see everything, and we will be back soon with another video. Have a lovely, lovely long weekend. Bye.